Terry Sue Smith, and today I'm going to walk you through some instructional technology tools for advertising and graphic design. I'm going to go over 5 different categories, and those categories are drill and practice, tutorials, simulations, instructional games, and problem-solving programs. Let's start with drill and practice. For this one, I've chosen Quizlet. Quizlet is a great tool that allows you to do flashcards, practice tests, and different games. You can sign up at Quizlet.com, and if you're a teacher, you're going to want to click I'm a teacher. After you get logged in, you will see a screen similar to this. Okay, so I'm going to search graphic design jobs. After you hit your enter button, you will see several different flashcard sets that will pop up. If you click on preview, you can see what those flashcards contain. I'm wanting something with definitions, so I'm going to choose this first one. There's many different things that I can do. Let's just look at the flashcards for time's sake. So I have it set for the definition to show first. I could also change that by clicking on the settings, and then where it says front, I could choose term. The relative advantage of using Quizlet is that there are many different ways to practice key terms and concepts, and this allows learners to practice in the way that resonates with their learning style. Students can also go at their own pace. And Quizlet allows the teacher to assign tests that can be used for pre and post test. The teacher can analyze this data and change their instructions based on the results. Next, let's look at the category of tutorials. I have 2 listed on my website, and I'll walk you briefly through those today. First, let's start with Adobe Education Exchange. Let's talk about the relative advantage first. This site allows students to develop specific design skills using industry standard software while also providing a software tutorial that teaches the specific skills that are needed for the project. Using this project tutorial website helps the teacher to facilitate a learning environment where they can assist students when they get stuck, as opposed to presenting the tutorial and just hoping that all of their students can follow along. It's really good in a room full of differentiated learners, because it allows students to go at their own pace and for you to help them as they go. So let's look at creating a magazine cover. So this is where they start to see their actual tutorial. And if you download this, it's going to be bigger on their screen, so I would do that. But this is a good way to preview the different items as a teacher before you assign it. It shows them where to go, what to click, and just walks them through this assignment. Okay, the next one is the DEX website by the Graphic Design School, and this website presents weekly design challenges to help students improve their software and design skills. Students can choose to focus on a particular software. They could learn based on difficulty level, or they could start at week 1 and go through, or they could really pick and choose what they want to do from this website. Let's look at one of the assignments from week 2. If we click on this, we will see several different things here. My students are beginners, so I would have them look at that. It's asking them to design one icon. The time allocated is about 1 hour for sketching and 2 hours for execution. So I would know that I need to give them a couple of days. The software that they'll use is Adobe Illustrator. If you click on this, it has a tutorial where the person walks you through the project. So I'm just going to click through a bit to show you the progression and how you achieve it. It's a really great tutorial for the students. Next, we're going to look at simulations, and for this one I have chosen Camera Sim. The relative advantage of going to a website like this is that instead of going out into the field to try different settings on the camera, at first you could just give the students time to practice and attempt to understand how changing the settings affect the end result. For this, I would also give them a scaffold that shows them what each setting does, because that will make it easier for them as they try to learn. So this also allows the students to practice in a controlled environment, because when they get out into the field, they're so excited about using the camera that it's hard for them to focus on the different settings. So when you get in and you click Start the Sim, you see different conditions. And let's change this to overcast. Let's keep our distance the same. and I would leave the focal length the same because that's what we have on our cameras that we would actually use. I'm going to say that we're using a tripod, and I'm going to put it in manual mode, which is what I challenge the students to use. I'm going to choose different settings, and as you can see, there's also this slider that you would see on your regular camera. So I want to put that in the middle. I'm going to snap that photo, and I came up with a nice one. But the students may not. Let's see something that the students might choose. So it says that it's not bad, but you should reduce your ISO a bit unless you have a reason to shoot with that. You want to shoot with the lowest ISO setting that you can. And so they would go back and they would try changing that just a bit. Okay, and then let's snap the photo, and they've got a nice shot. Our next category is instructional games. And for this one, I have chosen the method of color action game, which provides an interactive, hands-on way for students to practice identifying and applying color harmonies. The relative advantage of using this website is that it's a fun, hands-on way to practice color and color schemes. It far outweighs looking at different color schemes on paper and matching colors with color chips, because it allows the students to actively engage with the color relationships. So instead of a teacher-led demonstration where the hands-on practice would be limited, the students are going to receive immediate visual feedback as they experiment with the different color schemes. So with this site, I would usually post my score in the learning management system and then ask students to see if they could beat that score. What you do on this one is you just click press to get started, and it's going to start with a hue, which is just another name for color. So you're trying to find this pink color here, and so you're gonna look for that. I got a perfect on that one, and then I think that's right there on the color wheel. So this really helps them as they start to use the digital color wheels in the different websites that we use. Now it's going on to saturation, which is a little bit different, where we're going to be choosing a different tint or shade of that color. So we're having to move up and down. So I'm looking for this pink color here. So I spent a lot of time talking. I'm not going to get this one. So then it goes through these different things down here. You can see complementary, analogous, triadic, and tetradic. I'm not going to play this whole game, but it's a really fun game for the students. Our next category is problem-solving programs. I'm going to start with Adobe Color. And if I were using this website, I would give the students a mock client and a vibe or emotion that I'm wanting them to achieve for that client. So the students would use the tool to come up with a base color plus 3 different color schemes, such as complementary, analogous, or split complementary. And then that's something that they could present to the client. So let's see, I'm going to choose, this is your base color, the one in the middle. So I want to choose an orange color. All right, and then you can see this is already giving McDonald's. Like, that's what it kind of looks like. Now, let's say that I want to do a monochromatic scheme for that orange color. Okay, so those are some monochromatic, it's just different tints and shades of the same color. Let's also look at complementary. So I know I want to use orange. These are some colors that could go with that. I've seen this color scheme in a dentist office. Okay, so you start to see these colors being reused in different ways, and that's just a good way for the students to look at it. Another way that I would use this website is that I would have students study the color schemes of a popular brand and then plug those colors in and see what type of color scheme that brand uses. This one is Burger King. I plugged in the hex code for Burger King's red, and then I plugged in these different ones by clicking these plus signs. And when it was done, it really shows that they're using almost like a split complementary. So it just shows students how colors relate to each other. Okay, and then the next one that I would use for the category of problem-solving programs, this one would be more for an advanced class, and the relative advantage of this one is that the site allows the students to take ownership of their learning, use their critical thinking and problem-solving skills, to earn a badge from an industry-leading software company that they could showcase in their portfolio. The students could choose a different self-paced course that they want to focus on, and when they click on that, let's look at storytelling through short-form video. When they click on that, they're going to get a short tutorial article that they'll read, and there's a video for them to watch. It shows them what tools that they'll need. And then there are these different videos that they'll watch. And once they go through the course, at the end, they'll get a final assignment to put it all together. And so they would practice here in Adobe Express. If you click that, it's going to open that program. They're going to download their sample files, and they're going to create a video in Adobe Express. And after they're done with that, they're going to share their project link from Adobe Express, which it walks them through how to do that. So in 5 to 9 business days, they're either going to receive a badge or they're going to be asked to update their assignment. And so that's where they can drop that in. Okay, thank you for listening. I hope that you've enjoyed this presentation on instructional technology tools for advertising and graphic design. You can see the different tools that I've mentioned and the relative advantage of each, and I also have each of those websites linked for you.